their morale not really there. They were sort of playing that game to not lose, as opposed to making plays when they had advantages, when they hit spikes in their comp, when their team was strong. They weren't able to capitalize on situations that were working for them. But we'll see whether they can turn it around here. Of course, this team definitely able to do so if they manage to get on top. But Kalista needs to be mentioned, and I'll see whether she gets put on the ban list. But so far, it's an identical copy as far as these bans are concerned.
Yeah, so certainly looks like that's going to be the way. Kalista is taken
double
away.
AD bans.
So a lot of respect to Crystal now, and maybe the new Tristana comes through.
One can only hope. We can hope and dream for new Tristana. Haven't seen her yet at all in any competitive play, and I'm just not sure whether she's even strong or weak or anything. I've played her once, I got confused, and man, I'm looking forward to seeing the likes of Crystal bring out this sort of high-performing champion of old. See whether she's transformed into something that they still want to play. Snake taking a little while on their final ban here. It is going to be Rengar taken away from Insec. And Kohler now has an opportunity to pick his first champion. The Rumble is available. He could take that again, but he got punished for it in the last game.
Yeah, certainly did, and it looks like Flandre's answer to that was to pick up the Morgana, then swap the lanes and just be able to drop the puddle. But ooh, I like the Cassidy pickup. It's a much more aggressive top laner if that is where it goes. Also has the ability to go mid. Korn plays that one as well. And Insec had a better showing. He kind of is our key matchup at the moment. So if we check in with how he went, a lot more assists, still not many kills in there. Early pressure not fantastic, and did give up a lot of his jungle pressure. So after that first blood, it did seem to rattle him a little bit. So yeah, I would be interested to see if once again he goes back to the Lee Sin, or if he tries something just out of this world. He went Kha'Zix yesterday, maybe a Pantheon, a Fiddlestick, something along those lines, just to shake it up and try and get himself back in a groove. Yeah,
I'd be very happy to see him on that Pantheon as well, with a lot of early control. Barker now looking at this Azir that he's played quite a lot. But, you know, with that Cassidy lock-in, very flexible pick, as you mentioned, that could be heading into the top lane, and he could face off against a Xerath in the hands of Korn. That could easily happen.
Yeah, it certainly could, as well as the fact that Ahri still is open, can farm out the lane fine, and then roams around particularly well. Another pick away from Zero here. Ella taking the Janna again. Definitely a strong support, and Ella plays it well, so you can't just say it's only a pick away. Definitely is a priority pick that Snake like to have in their lineup, but Zero seems to be the person on this lineup from Starhorn that does get bullied a little bit.
Yeah, or at least respected for his ability to play. A couple of these champions, of course, was considered sort of Mad Life 2.0 on that Thresh as well. That's why you see that one on the ban list so incredibly often. HYY going back to a staple pickup here, not looking to hit up that Graves, going for the Corki yet again. That is his comfort champion. That's an insta-lock Annie as well.
Yeah, so it might be Annie in the bottom lane. Also seen it in mid and top, so you can never be sure exactly.
Could be a jungle Annie, who knows?
Can never be sure exactly where Annie's going to go. I think that HYY's best champion is definitely Corki.
Yep.
He just farms a lot better on it, able to control the wave a little bit better. That's a lot of burst potential that comes out of Annie as well as Corki. Also means that they can open up for an AD mid laner if they would like to. Something like that Ezreal that can come through from Korn.
Yep.
Have the double Trinity power spikes. And the Nunu actually being looked at by Beast here. We mentioned that with the change of patches, it was falling out of favor a little bit. Azir is actually a terrific Blood Boil target, which is very unique in the mid lane. And you throw in a Kog'Maw as well. That's two very hyper-scaling carries.
Yeah, and we're talking about Crystal here. Has shown a lot on this Tristana last week. A little bit before that as well. Has played a lot of that champion. Kalista there as well. Draven needs to get a mention, of course. Pentakilling on that champion, but earlier on, Crystal was known as a Kog'Maw player.
Yeah, and he's picked it up a couple of times as well, and he definitely does well with it. It's an awesome hyper carry. They need to keep it safe. There are things like Vi still up, things like Jarvan that can really jump on top of Kog'Maw and make his life a little bit unpleasant. Throw in an Aurelia and a Cassidy, and that's a dive-heavy backlane already, and it will actually be a Hecarim jungle coming through from Insec. I know because he's taken Ghost.
Yep.
And that will be fun.
I'm incredibly excited to see it. This is sort of the Insec flavor, isn't it, as well? Like, they lose the first game. Insec just goes, I just want to play something fun and rampage around the jungle. Pick an Hecarim. Can you pick a better champion to do that on? I don't think so.
No, so Hecarim definitely brings some unique things to his kit that not a lot of other champions do. Of course, scales off that move speed, so nice to be able to dash in there with your E and smack people in the face with your hooves.
Yeah.
And going to be against an immobile carry like Kog'Maw means that if he can get through onto the enemy lineup, he can wreak havoc in the backline. And they've got a very good dive-heavy comp here. it will be on HYY to kind of stay by himself and just survive these team fights, but it's going to be all about repetitive dives coming in from all these lane, the top, mid, and jungle.
Yeah, and a lot of sort of defensive play to come through on the side of Snake here as well. They are very much relying on these carries in Barca and Crystal in order to get their damage down. Flandre, again, on this utility top laner in Morgana, was very happy to pick that one up in the last matchup. Going to be a little bit different now that he's against Cola, but is that going to be, again, more of this farm lane situation?
Yeah, it certainly looks like it will be a farm lane situation. We'll talk about that in a second.
Okay,
so I think that they like to take Morgana into lane swaps. So it looks to be the fact that they're looking to pick on the Aurelia one more time, get into a lane swap, get Flandre a level 5, and then he can just walk up to the minion wave, drop the puddle on the back line and be able to get CS that way, and does very well without CS. That's why you see Morgana as a support position, because there's a lot of utility through the Black Shield, through the ultimate and the binding to really not need that farm. Of course, scales very well AP ratio-wise with it. So that seems to be the tactic that Flandre takes into it. I would be very hesitant to think that he would go head-to-head with an Aurelia in lane because of the passive that comes through, all that tenacity. Those Dark Bindings just won't be holding up the Aurelia for long enough for him to be able to farm out. And Aurelia, after getting that Sheen, does a lot of mixed damage to get through the Black Shield.
Yeah, that's true. Equilibrium Strike can almost cut that thing in half.
Yeah, it certainly will be. He'll be able to get through that. That would be max first in a one-on-one lane. And just the bully potential that can come out from an Aurelia if it starts snowballing is something they probably don't want to commit to.
No, we'll see whether they can turn it around there. But I am excited to see this Cassidy in the mid lane against Azir. And let's see it right now. Let's hop onto the Rift. And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, with Game 2. Starhorn Royal Club taking on Snake, looking to bounce back and make this a 1-1 and deny Snake their dreams of tying with OMG in the second place of the LPL standings. Snake again grouping just a little bit and setting up for something. And I'm incredibly happy to see Beast on this Nunu again. I thought it might have fallen out of favor a little bit for some unknown reason, but he's still there. Happy to ha around the map.
Yeah, still picking up the jungle Nunu, going to look to counter jungle. What is a teleport Hecarim?
Yeah.
Atlas.
This is what I sort of lost my mind about before, ladies and gentlemen, but teleport Hecarim.
So double teleport coming through from Royal Club. Maybe they have something special. Maybe they're just on complete tilt. Who knows? But Insec has taken a very unorthodox summoner spell onto the jungle pony.
Yeah, but this is going to mean those teleport home guard ganks are going to be so devastating. Because you get all of that extra AD scaling and you run pretty quick when you got a home guard.
Yeah, exactly right. And we actually see a fair bit out of the top lane Hecarim that is starting to make a resurgence around the world. So Insect will be able to jungle extremely quickly. Hecarim's still a very quick jungler once you start getting that Q stacked up. Able to get through, but
you can't stack it on your support though, unfortunately, as Insect just found out.
But we'll see exactly what he can get done around here, and it will be standard lane, so they're electing to send a Morgana into an Aurelia, and I can't believe that. That's very brave coming out of Snake.
Yeah, choosing his words carefully is Jake's spawn type here this game, as Flandre is definitely a confidence player, and he might just be saying, I don't even mind what he takes against me. I'm just happy to play out this lane.
Yeah, exactly right. And maybe he's just going to look to get the W down, shove it out, and then just roam around the map. Of course, Korn will be a great target to try and gank. A lot of damage will come out of Baka on this Azir. So being able to couple those two champions together will be a good thing.
And Korn just going to be farming this lane so far. And is it going to be about level 3 where Flandre really needs to be careful in this lane once all of those abilities come through from Aurelia?
Yeah, Aurelia really gets going at around the level 3, level 4 mark. And then between level 7s and 8 is actually extremely strong. Once you put that ultimate in there, gives a lot of sustain if you fight in a minion wave. Able to also augment a lot of the burst, specifically if you pick up a Sheen with it. Because you can just proc your Sheen so many times in little skirmishes. So overall, just a really solid laner on even or better terms with most of the current meta laners.
And Crystal and Ella were pressured once level 2 was reached first by Zero and HYY, and Zero trying to put the pressure on with this, and you can see getting a lot of harass down with that stun, but HYY tends to be taking a lot of auto attacks from Crystal here as well, who's a beautiful butterfly on that bottom side. Another Q going to land on a Barker here in the mid lane, but just a little bit of trading harass back and forth. Yeah,
and now it's up to Korn on the melee laner to really just be able to go even in the lane and not get bullied around too much. Just farm up as best as possible, because we've all seen how these Kassadins scale in the LPL. They go absolutely nuts, and it looks like it is up to Flandre to just push in this lane. But that puts a wave in very comfortable control for Aurelia. Aurelia, one of the best top laners for wave manipulation, can freeze and push very well because it does very little damage to creeps with just last sitting, but it can also, I guess, shove out the wave with the Hiten style and the Blaze Surge coming through.
And Flandre doing a lot of work harassing with his puddle here as well while Kohler tries to farm under that turret. It's an interesting adaptation here to the top lane meta as far as Morganas are concerned, trying to give Kohler as hard a time as possible, but it's a bit frustrating when your puddle only just doesn't kill the last minions.
Yeah, it certainly is, and we see that he is repetitively shoving in, but still has a CS disadvantage. So lane so far going much better for Kohler this time around. I think he has more CS now than he had at the 9-minute mark, so he would be a much more happy chappy.
Yeah, you could imagine he was getting that equalizer and saying, yes, I also have double-digit farm. And that is an unfortunate situation to happen for any Rumbles, but as we saw, he didn't suffer too much. It was sort of his team suffering around him towards that mid-game stage. Royal Club still were in it for quite some time. We'll see whether they can get their mojo back on the Rift this game.
Yeah, and Sightstone, the first pickup here from B, so sticking to the old build, not going for any aggressive jungle items or even that defensive Juggernaut, just electing for vision control and looking to get eyes on Insec. And when you're playing an unpredictable champion like a Hecarim, who knows what his gank path is going to look like, so not a bad move to get a little bit more control around the map early.
Yeah, and Ella has been so comfortable in this Janna as well, shielding up Crystal exactly when he's going to be taking damage and putting down his harass here as well. They have control back in this lane, and it's been a while since we saw the Corki-Kog'Maw matchup. Seems to be going okay here for Snake on the bottom side. A couple of farm in the lead, but is going to be HYY able to farm up these creeps the backside.
The matchup actually started going pretty firmly in Kog'Maw's favor towards the end when Trinity Force became a popular rush item, because he actually trades extremely well burst for burst with champions, able to throw out that ultimate and just one auto attack for a lot of damage, and activating W with a Sheen also does surprising amount of burst. So we saw a little bit more popularity when Kog'Maw was used fairly frequently. Yeah. And of course, never can underestimate the poke damage that comes out of a Corki, however, in these lanes.
Not to mention the fact that Kog'Maw has some respectable AP ratios as well on that ultimate and, of course, that W. So able to utilize that Sheen to great effect here for multiple reasons. Now going to be attempting to zone Royal Club out of this lane. A lot of respect from Royal Club onto Crystal here, who seems to be just having his way with this lane.
Yeah, I think the Royal Club has just recognized that in ganks, Insec is fairly useless until level 6. So they're just trying to go even in all their lanes, not push anything. They're actually winning top lane, which is a lane they should be winning. They're fairly even across the board in other lanes. So just try and get to the point where they're not bleeding objectives like they were last game, and then they can group up for these nice big Hecarim ultimates.
See whether that Onslaught of Shadows can be used to great effect when it does come through. A little bit similar to the Rengar that Insec, of course, also loves. The same sort of gank path, the same want to get to level 6 as quickly as possible and affect the map at that stage. And so far, he's happy to try and get to that point, as it looks like the Warrior Enchant going to be opted in for from Insec, so he's going to have a fair bit of damage when he does hit that level 6 mark.
Yeah, he certainly will, and hasn't swapped over to the Chilling Spite yet, of course, stealing a lot of that that movement speed away, giving a nice little boost of AD in the build.
Yeah, true.
Top lane, Kohler's actually gone for a Sheen first item, so an extremely aggressive Aurelia pickup, trying to get in the face of Flandre. Has got the CS advantage, but Flandre still repetitively, I guess, pushing that wave in.
Yeah, just doing his best to make sure that he has the creeps at his side as well, and that is something that Morgana's often going to have because he can clear these waves so quickly. Of course, Transcendent Blade's going to be needed from Kohler if he wants to answer that level of pushing power. And Crystal, not even level 6 yet, able to put so much harass down onto HYY. And in a lane that's Corky Annie, I mean, there's a lot of burst potential there. And getting to level 6 early, very, very important.
Yeah, and they're pinging out the fact that the mid laner, Korn, has actually gone into the top side of the map. They saw him there, they've backed Flandre away, and this is actually Beast picking up a first uncontested dragon in response. Really nice play coming out once again from Snake for early objective control. Just a ward over the back of the pit, and that's all it's going to take. This dragon will go down.
Yep, Beast using that smite, consuming it up, and Crystal and Ella didn't even need to leave their lane, nor did Barker. A complete solo on that dragon as Beast hit that level 6 mark, and there's not going to be any timer hit here as Flandre takes so much burst damage from that Sheen. In tower range, he gets caught by the Dark Binding though. Flandre is going to be safe for now. Doesn't have his flash, doesn't have his teleport. He's going to have to be careful here, and decided to go for that Fiendish Codex as well, so still going to be attempting to pick up that Morella Nomicon early on.
Yeah, certainly is. Double Durans will keep him nice and safe in lane. They're actually rotating up the support player. Ella up into the top lane with Flandre trying to keep him safer. That will mean that they cede a little bit of the pressure that they gained in the bottom lane. There's a 10 CS advantage for Crystal here. And he has been spotted out, so pinging the top lane back. Now see if they're actually... Royal Club are matching it. They're sending Annie into the top lane as well.
This is very interesting play. And you were talking about the fact that Royal Club are playing incredibly reactionary. I think that is almost proven right here with Zero answering that one, because you have to think that the Flash Tibbers, now just available, they could have just destroyed Cogmore, taken a tower, and moved on from there.
Yeah, exactly right. It looks like they're trying to get a Tibbers in another area of the map, however. Zero looking for Barker.
And actually, Barker going to be taken here from Zero straight away. W's and E's out of it. Flashes straight away as well as the Rift Walk comes over the wall. Intelligent flash. Is Beast going to take away that red buff as well. Tibbers scouting mission just a little bit, but blows the big cooldown and doesn't find Barker, but does get that flash. And Barker, again, picking up exhaust in the mid lane.
Yeah, so Barker going for the exhaust against what is pretty much a double assassin if you count Aurelia as an assassin. She does
triple if you count, you know, Annie as well as Hecker. Maybe it's a quadra assassin. Who knows?
As once again, a repeat visit to the top lane. No flash for Korn. He's in trouble.
Oh, Dark Binding finds him here as well. There's the Soul Shackles. Cola in a lot of trouble. There's the last proc. Oh, not actually going to find it just yet, but it does in the end. Absolute Zero going to do so much work. Look at the full channel. Tear that horse apart. And Snake, 2 for nothing in that situation.
Yeah, Insect flying in there, put out a lot of damage, but then after the first rotation was used, not really much he could do and had to take the full channel. If we have another look, Kohli just gets caught out, overextending in the lane. Insect comes in and Kohli survives for a surprising amount of time, but a full channel Nunu ultimate at level 7 is going to do work.
Oh, yeah. That was despicable damage. Half the health of Insect, who's now going to be teleporting in. The Onslaught of Shadows could be available, but he bounces into the wall over and over again. He's tanking up this turret. Oh my goodness. Barker wishes he had some more mana so that he could finish off that silly horse.
That was an interesting play coming through there. So the horse galloping around, didn't have an ultimate to get through the damn Emperor's Divide.
Oh,
gets knocked into turret range. So now map control completely on the side of Snake. They've got a 2,000 gold advantage, 20 CS advantage in bot and mid, and the game's slowly slipping away here from Royal Club, you feel.
Yeah, Royal Club were looking to sing that My Horse is Amazing song, but it just didn't quite work out at that stage as Cola going to try and clear up this top lane and ceded a little bit of an advantage, but still has 10 CS in the lead. Doesn't quite have his Trinity Force available just yet, but it is going to be done very soon. Another 600 gold or so necessary to finish off that item. And Home Guard mobility boots from Insect, unable to pay off just yet. The Tibbers actually lands onto Crystal here. It's a nice monsoon for that disengage, and big cooldown now used in this bottom side. Tibbers wants to be taken for that sweet 50 bear gold, but doesn't come in.
Yeah, and 4 members were actually rotating down from Snake here, so not really much they can do. Insect now looking to match. There's 3 at the turret. Now they're bringing down Casanova. Looks like they're just giving this one up. So second turret of the game will fall for Snake. They've got complete control over the bottom half of the map.
And Crystal going to be answering with his Trinity Force Power Spike a little bit before HYY's. You have to think that he probably has the money sitting in his back pocket to pick that one up. 1,600 gold, so yeah, easily going to be able to grab that item. I believe 1,800 now sitting in his pocket, so yeah, he's got it.
Yeah, he certainly has. We'll just be able to back off now. That's great timing for the next dragon as well. Snake, complete control over it. Even Flandre in the top lane looking to get busy. Pop the ultimate, bullying Cola out.
And this is terrifying when a matchup that we thought was definitely going to be in favor of Royal Club is now going in the way of Flandre, thanks to Beast and his fantastic ganking power there on that top side. It's 2-0 Morgana doing work up here.
Yeah, it certainly is. And any matchup where, even if it goes against you, if you pick up an early double kill, probably going to swing back in your favor. So
interestingly,
Flandre enjoying the 2 kills that were nearly gifted to him, the second one on a silver platter.
Yep.
And we see Royal Club now trying to group up. They've lost nearly all of their outer turrets. The top one, you have to think, is not far away with the pushing power of Morgana. And unless they can get a really good team fight in the next couple of minutes, they might just be slowly starved out of the game again.
And 25 seconds on that dragon here as well. Soul Shackle's probably going to match that timer very closely here from Flandre, whose teleport just came up again. Sun Turret going to be used in this mid lane. We didn't even mention when Barker managed to push that wave in enough times to be able to take that turret, and that's what's going to happen here against Korn on this Cassidy, who can't really answer back too much in the earlier levels of this game. And Blue Steel coming in as well, and Snake just starting to run away with it. Yeah,
they've got complete control over every area of the map. Even this dragon area where there's 3 members on the top side of the map, they're still trying to contest Vision against Insect, who is maybe getting caught out. No, he'll just be able to clippity-cloppity his way back into his own jungle. But that dragon's now up with teleports available and 0 on the top side of the map. Once again, just might be given over to the Snake lineup.
Yeah, you can see Insect was so squishy on this Hecarim as well. You have to think that if he onslaughts into these fights, he's just going to melt, which we saw.
So, second dragon of the game given over to Snake.
Yep, donated. Happy birthday, Snake. There you go, Beast. You're looking fantastic on this Nunu. 100% kill participation. Have a dragon. No worries at all. Going to be able to clear out this minion relatively easily as well. Using that Blood Boil to get himself around this map very quickly. And Beast on this Nunu has just always looked impressive.
Yeah, and this is a part of the composition we didn't really touch on, but they have fantastic siege here on Snake. They've got the Emperor's Divide to be able to shove these people that are going to launch onto the Cogmore back underneath their turret. They've got the Blood Boiled up Cogmore with the Trinity Force going to be able to get those procs out of the Sheen to siege down. Fairly good poke also coming through from Morgana and Azir, so they're going to look to, I guess, get even more aggressive across this map as time goes on and start trying to siege down these tier 2s. Not any of the turrets on the side of Starhorn Royal Club have even got scratches on them. They haven't been able to push in any waves.
And is this Snake lineup, I'm looking over it right now, and it's largely sort of a reactionary comp here as well. They do a lot of damage, a lot of work more in sort of a re-engage type fashion, and it's like at this stage when they've got so much control, are they running out of sort of answers as far as how to put pressure on this game themselves?
Yeah, so Starhorn, they definitely can't force anything at the moment. They've got the lineup where they need to be able to jump on and delete one of the carries, be it Azir or the Cogmore, but once they're in there, because of how much damage Flandre is going to be doing at this point in the game, and how tanky he is, yeah, it just means that they won't be able to really get the follow-up kills they need. So sure, if they commit all 4 of their dive champions onto one member of Snake, they might be able to grab the Cogmore, they might be able to grab the Azir, but they're definitely not going to get through the rest of the line.
But if we look at Royal Club's items here, we do have a couple of Trinity Forces being completed in answer to the one coming through from Crystal. Insect, he's in a lot of trouble. Crystal's tearing him apart, but yeah, Korn coming in as well, but he's just going to have the same fate. Crystal is relentless on this Cogmore. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, Trinity Force is such a fantastic item on Cogmore because a lot of Cogmore's kit has hidden power. That Q, of course, coming through. Ooh.
Yeah. Force Pulse going to come down.
Insect's flanking.
Oh, he's coming in. The horse trying yet again. He jumps onto Crystal. Nice Monsoon, but Crystal is most definitely dead. Tries to turn around, and Kathy in surprise trying to do some work, but Ella is getting torn apart from Cola. Royal Club, they're turning it on. picking up 2 easy kills. Is it going to be answered here by Snake, though? Because the inner turret went down in the mid lane. Beast is now absolutely zeroing this bottom side of the map, and Barker with a lot of tower pressure going to start smacking and W'ing on this inner turret in the bottom side.
Yeah, certainly are, and Beast is that tanky, just happy to tank it up. So 2 kills, traded for 2 turrets. I think Snake come out in the lead of that one.
Yeah, Flandre actually coming around here, gets stunned up by Zero as the Tibbers comes down onto his face. This tower, not long for this world, but still on about a 3rd health, so it's going to be fine. Tower deciding that it wants to take down Tibbers is going to get the 50 gold for itself. As Beast and Barker in a bit of trouble. Emperor's Divide going to save them from that one, as this outer turret's still available as well.
Flandre actually pressuring 2 people out of lane here by himself, so showing reckless abandon, flashing forward.
Trading flashes here with the AD carry as well as Flandre. We've spoken about his aggression before, and he's definitely able to demonstrate it here on this Morgana now. Is that a Riley's Crystal Scepter?
Yeah, it looks like it certainly is, as Crystal takes...
Yeah, Crystal's just going to destroy Insect, but Collar and Korn not going to have any of it as he gets a nice Cathian surprise over a couple of members, but Beast around here just a little bit too late, unable to save his AD carry. Bilgewater Cutlass now completed for Crystal, wants to go for that Blade of the Ruined King with that beautiful synergy with the Bioarcane Barrage.
And once again, Snake just looking like they're the superior map movement side. Sure, Starhorn Royal Club, they've picked up, they've equalized the kill. A lot of that is once again on the mid laner. Hassanen is no slouch in the late game, so you have to keep an eye on him, but it's 5 turrets to 0. There's just so much more gold. If you want to see where the gold lead, that's 100% of the lead. That's 5,000 gold in the pocket of Snake that just isn't an option for Starhorn now. So, and with how far out the waves are always being pushed, even if they win these team fights, there's just nothing they're going to be able to do about it. They can't push that far that quickly.
Oh, and Snake looking to capitalize on this one as well. They got pings all over this Baron, which is where they want to be gathering their vision. Trying to get deep wards down here as well as the Snake members, 5 strong. They're just going to start off the Baron.
Yeah, and why not? They do so much damage to it. Azir and Kog'Maw, very good Baron control. Looks like they will be collapsed on here by Insect.
Yeah, but look at this Baron. It's going down so low. Soul Shackle's in the backside. It does get taken easily here by Nunu, and Insect's going to fall down straight away. Korn gets hit by a Dark Binding. Look at the Emperor's Divide tearing him apart. Crystal picks up the kill, and Snake grab a Baron. 2 kills already, and they'll be able to follow these super creeps into the base, you have to think.
Yeah, and we've already complimented them how good their siege composition is with the Kog'Maw and the Azir. So being able to have these Baroned up creeps now means that they'll be able to tear through with the Trinity Force. They'll take the first inhibitor of the game at only 21 minutes, and Snake are on a roll.
They are 10,000 gold now, the lead, as the inhibitor falls down. Map entirely owned by Snake at this stage of the game, and we were talking about Royal Club maybe not having the confidence in that last game. That's been epitomized right here.
Yeah, it certainly has. They look like a team confused. Once again, just bleeding objectives across the board. This game has the danger of being a complete shutout. With the exception of 3 kills, nothing has gone in Royal Club's favor.
And look at Snake moving around this map so beautifully as well. Baron into a couple of kills, inhibitor. As soon as they finish that, the dragon comes up. They take their 3rd unanswered dragon of the game. And that's the movement speed. That's when they want it as well. This is the time where they want to be putting pressure everywhere, and they have the opportunity to now with a little bit extra movement.
Yeah, they certainly do. And Insect looking to even start split pushing now, and that's when you know that a jungler is in a bad position, when he's starting to soak up the valuable experience and gold around the map. Feels like he needs to be even more relevant, and I hate to say it, Atlas, but he has the danger, if he doesn't pick up a kill here, of repeating a 1 kill across 2 games for the 2nd time.
Insect just not feeling the form that he's had in prior years. Of course, fantastic player in his own right, just hasn't been able to find his moment in this game, and you have to think that that first opportunity in that top side just went so horribly wrong. It must be playing on his mind as they enter the later stages of this one. And we haven't even spoken about Kog'Maw and how brutal he is in the late game as well, because I don't even think we're going to get there.
Yeah, we certainly are. He's already on 2 items, and 2 fairly expensive items at that as well, with the Trinity Force and Blade of the Ruined King. And there's just no armor on the side of Starhorn Royal Club to deal with it. Kog'Maw will absolutely tear through anyone he wants at this point in the game.
Yeah, and especially turrets here as well, as this inner is getting decimated by that siege creep as well as Crystal. Beast going to wander through, give his friend a bit of a blood boil as Zero's getting torn apart here as well. Look at the living artillery do work in that backside, and was that just an ultimate to clear out the way? Flandre, though, he's getting collapsed on here on the bottom side. They do manage to pick up the kill, but they needed 3 members. The inhibitor down on the mid side, the Monsoon going to be used as they take down this inhibitor turret in the top side of the map. And Snake so fantastic at getting the trades to go the way they want them to.
Yeah, they had to commit 2 ultimates to killing that, and they lose another base turret. Sure, Royal Club are picking up kills here, and that's fantastic, but they're just outclassed across the board. Every lane going in Snake's favor in the end, and with 2 open inhibitors now, Snake can just wait for the next Baron to come up, secure that one, rotate themselves into the base, and probably finish this one out. It will be about a 27-minute game, you would think, but Royal Club, they need to start praying for a miracle. I'm thinking the lines of overcommitting and falling on Nexuses and into the fountains.
Yeah.
Otherwise, nothing is going to stop it.
Yeah, what could happen there? Is it going to be Insec using his E and pushing people into the fountain?
Yeah, maybe.
That might be how it's going to work here, as Royal Club out of a lot of options.
They're even committing to a last whisper second item path on Corki. Just if you look across the board, just bad decisions being made, being forced to be made across everything. There's just nothing they can do. They've got a Hex Drinker for a bit of mid-game power on their late-game scaling Aurelia. Maybe only Korn is a person that could truly stand up to Bucker at this point in the game, but even in the mid lane, there's a 2,000 gold discrepancy. It's just such a commanding lead for Snake.
Yeah, and when you've got sort of 2 extra kills in that lane as well, is 40 CS and all of the global gold. When it's 8 turrets to 2, 1 Baron to none, 3 dragons to 0, Snake are just all over this game, and they're heading straight to that top side. The teleport going to be used on the bottom side of the map as they're looking to pick up Flandre yet again. Black Shield's there. He uses his ultimate, but Cola, he's going to just jump out of it. Insect taking a lot of damage. And Flandre, he's going to use that flash. He wants to actually try and escape from this one. Dark Binding does land. He gets back to the tower as Snake decimate the base of Royal Club.
Yeah, they're still going for it on the bottom side. Cola, unfortunately, won't be able to pick it up. They lose a second inhibitor, and maybe this is just Insect trying to get a little bit of mojo back. He's recognized that the game is over. Why not go for some kills? Unfortunately, though, even that's not working.
No, can't catch a break, can he, on this horse? A little bit unfortunate. Chris are going to take away the Gromp and then head back into this top side, because why not? There's Farm there. He's an AD carry. He's going to be followed just a little bit. You have to give Insec a bit of respect on this horse, because he's pretty damn quick. If he's nothing else, he's definitely quick.
Oh, and oh so glamorous prancing around the fields of Summoner's Rift. He looks beautiful.
Oh, he does. He does.
Hecarim is one of the most visually stunning characters, if nothing else, so I can understand the pickup there from a purely aesthetical point.
When the analyst is talking about the champion pick being an aesthetically good choice, you know something's gone wrong for your team, ladies and gentlemen. Is Crystal going to take away the Raptors as well, Snake? You were right when you were saying that they might be just waiting for this next Baron before finishing this game off. They did manage to pick up another inhibitor in that time, and maybe they're going to get impatient and take down this middle lane inhibitor as well. But every member of Royal Club is alive, and Nexus turrets do relevant damage, and Snake may not necessarily want to dive there without the help of some powered-up minions. 30 seconds is the timer now for both of these neutral objectives as they come up. And with Snake's ownership of the map, they'll happily take that one down. And this inhibitor, you have to think, is probably just going to die straight up to this Kog'Maw, who does a lot of damage.
Yeah, Kog'Maw at this point in the game does so much damage. Picks himself up a crit cloak as well with that.
Oh. Whoa. That's just flat out auto attack. Zero had his stun, but he couldn't get in range. Crystal's going to get blown up, though, as Ella tries to Monsoon them out. Look at that Empress Divide tearing through the dive comp of Korn and Insec, and Cola now getting ripped apart. It's Bucker's turn to show his power as Flandre picks up Cola. This inhibitor going to fall down. Super Creep streaming into the base as well, and only the bottom lane available for Royal Club. It was a valiant effort to go on top of Crystal, but if you only get him and Barker's still there, he still has so much damage. These Nexus turrets are going to get torn apart as Bucket. No, he just actually wants to pick up the kills. Even going to ignore the fact that he can win the game. As now the members of Snake turn their attention to the Nexus. And what a clinic put on by Snake this game against Royal Club. Ella not even going to fall down there in a beautiful display. And now our second place team tied with OMG is Snake.
Yeah, that was a pretty brutal clinic put on by Snake of how to control a map objective. No turrets, no dragons, no Baron taken by Starhorn Royal Club in that second game. A complete shutout.
Yeah.
And you can see the frustration starting to grow. It's just there's something missing. It's not clicking. And across the board, just outperformance in every lane. We keep saying that when Name comes back, that something might change. But when you're losing top, you're losing jungle in such emphatic fashion game after game. Maybe that won't even be enough. They need to really go back to the drawing board.
Yeah, and Starhorn Royal Club, they're probably also going to be relying on the fact that the confidence boost given to their whole team when Name comes back is going to be really important because they're then going to feel like this team that can push forward. Of course, right now, they feel like they're playing with only one leg, you have to think.
Yeah, certainly are, but on the other side of the rift, Snake must be feeling fantastic. Out of the LSPL, really no expectation on these guys. We knew they were a great team with Flandre in the top lane, but Crystal, Bucker, and Beast really stepping up. Got to mention Ella as well. And now to contend with the likes of OMG and EDG, these guys are here to play.
Oh, yeah, but let's go to our next matchup very soon, ladies and gentlemen. M3 are going to take on Energy Pacemaker right after this break.